Welcome to the Monday Market Update. It is April 6th. Nikki, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, especially with the market as it is today. We saw some improvement last week into Friday, and then that improvement is actually continuing today. Today is actually a day for me where I'm going to be talking to a lot of clients about locking in their interest rates because usually when we see signals of the market improving and then we hear about some additional potential conflict that may happen in Iran tomorrow, we want to make sure that we get everybody locked in today. And with better interest rates because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow as far as the market is concerned. And whenever there is a conflict, the market kind of just goes up and down from a volatility standpoint. So we are into the mid sixes still at this point. You certainly buy down to the low sixes, but we are definitely out of the five still. So without a huge buy down, which is, you can only go down so far. So yeah, mid sixes, which isn't too bad, but yeah, we're hoping that we can get some resolution here pretty quickly and get the rates back down into the fives. With that being said, so I just want to touch on a couple of things. When it comes to interest rates, and then also a couple of additional products that I have adopted onto my product line that are going to be extremely helpful. So, when we talk about interest rates, and when I say things like interest rates are in the mid sixes, there's a couple things that determines what that interest rate is from borrower to borrower. I know that we've talked about this before, but a big portion of your interest rate that you receive on a loan has to do with credit. And your credit score is obviously important. You obviously want to have it above 700, but for every 20 points, there is an interest rate break. So in other words, 720 is going to get you a better interest rate than 719. 740 is going to give you a better interest rate than 739. So for every 20 points on your credit report, that interest rate is going to improve. After about 760, it really doesn't matter. There is really no more improvement after that part. The thing that does improve is if you have a credit score over 800 and are needing mortgage insurance on the loan. In other words, not putting at least 20% down, your credit score is over 800, you'll get a break from the mortgage insurance cost over 800 as well. But from an interest rate standpoint, it kind of stops at 760 and above. You're going to get the most prime, the better interest rate from that standpoint. So I'm not sure how a lot of people know that fact or not, but just a good reminder if you already did know. So a couple things that I've added to my arsenal. First and foremost is what's called a one-time close loan. So what a one-time close loan is somebody wants to purchase a plot of land and construct a home on it from scratch. That is called a construction loan. Most of the time in the market, you have to do what's called a two-time close. In other words, you have to close on your construction loan in order to buy the lot and start building. And then you have to do another mortgage at the end of it, which is your more permanent mortgage, and you have to pay closing costs twice. Now I have a product where we close on the lot and the construction and then just modify that construction loan at the end of the process into a permanent mortgage. So you aren't paying closing costs twice. What's even better about that is not only can I do the one-time close now, but I can also do it as an FHA loan, a VA loan, or a conventional loan, or even a jumbo loan up to $2 million. So basically, it helps me to help clients who maybe are FHA buyers to be able to build and construct their own home without having to charge them twice for closing costs. So that's really nice. That's a huge development because a lot of times, a lot of what I do is if people want to go down this route to build a home, I'm having to work with a bank to get them the construction loan and then do the financing. And now I can just do it all in-house, which is really cool. So I have a couple of those actually going right now, which is awesome. I have a VA one and then I have an FHA one. So it's huge that we can do VA FHA ones because I don't know if there's another lender out there that, has access to that like we do. So that's really nice. The other thing that I have adopted onto the product line is going to be 100% cash out VA loans. Um, so the VA, Ginny, does allow you to take 100% of the equity of your home as a cash out and give you that equity. However, most investors stop it at 90% because the market has been pretty volatile when it comes to equity, and they want to make sure that they don't have any issues when it comes to possible foreclosures and things like that. So they stop it at 90. But if you need to go to 100%, which in some cases, people do, then I'm able to get you that cash out at the full 100%. So that's a very unique thing that, that I have been able to adopt here over the last couple weeks onto the product line, which has been huge because it just helps different homeowners and gives me, an opportunity to be able to do that for them. So that's huge. So a couple of additional products, but yeah, it's one of those things where that list is ever growing and ever expanding. And as investors become more popular, as investors take on different opportunities and products, I'm able to get access to those, which is really nice.
No, that is. It's amazing. And even after the last conversation or two we've had with all the different things that are coming and changing, and now if you have a roommate, I mean, even just that
Yep.
conversation, I've talked to three agents that are just like, what? Tell me
Yeah.
more.
Yep.
Again, it's getting these products and the programs and staying on top of it. So we appreciate you doing that for us because again, that's what's
Absolutely.
important about having someone like you in your corner. So we as agents can go out there and really focus in our lane while geez, you're killing it in yours. So
Yeah.
great.
We're trying to, ever expand the product line and make sure that I'm able to serve, a whole plethora of people and their needs versus, just even not having access to those things. So,
Yeah. And I did have one question come up that I wanted to ask you about. I was just going to look here real fast. It's Minnesota and it was on mobile homes. Now,
okay.
I remember back in the day, and I haven't touched or talked about a mobile home for a while, but what I remember about it is a real estate agent, per our license, we don't sell mobile homes, is what I remember. But can you touch base on anything regarding financing
Sure.
or what that looks like so that I
Sure.
can get this over to
Yep. So
owners?
there's a huge difference between a mobile home and a
Mhm.
manufactured home and a stick built home. Okay. And even a modular home. So a modular home, which is the same, a stick build is like your traditional house that you would find. A
Mhm.
modular home is basically a home that's constructed somewhere else and put together on site, basically. Those are treated as a stick built home. So there's really no, from a financing standpoint, they follow the same rules.
Okay.
A manufactured home, we is considered a piece of real estate and it has certain rules and regulations as to when it can be built, how big it has to be, and what the type of financing is on it. There are interest rate increases a little bit when you are doing a manufactured home versus a single family home. But overall, it's pretty much treated the same from a financing standpoint with a couple little requirements from the home itself. A mobile home is completely different. The mobile home is considered basically a titled chattel. So it's not actually considered real property. So it has a title to the home similar to a car title, and everything goes through the DMV. It does not go through title, traditional title closings, things of that nature. So I do not do mobile home financing. It's very rare that you do find a company that will exclusively do mobile home financing. You may be able to get something done at like a local bank, but for the most part, that is going to be more of a cash transaction or something that involves like with the DMV, not with normal traditional financing.
Got it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
Love it. No, that's great explanation on all four different ones that we're looking at here. And I think that will wrap it up as well. And if she has any questions, as usual, I say reach out to Nikki. She is a
awesome.
wealth of information and you're so gracious with your time and willing to help. So
Absolutely not a problem at all.
always appreciate you. All right, well, we'll look forward to next week's update. Until then, everyone, go out, sell something, and reach out to Nikki if you have any questions. And with that, how do they find you?
You can find me on Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram at Mortgages from MN to AZ, and also 952-484-1584 for a phone call or a text.
Perfect. All right, we'll see you next week, everyone. Have a good
Bye,
one.
everyone.
Bye.